Hey guys, so you know that I talk a lot about how a lot of people in the community are mistyped and how this is the biggest problem within MBTI, and it's really keeping us from making MBTI scientifically accepted. I mean, besides the lack of data, the reason for the lack of data is that so many people are mistyped. And it really, in my view, defeats the whole purpose of MBTI, which is a system of understanding, recognizing, and appreciating differences in perspective, and understanding that some people view the world in a different way than you and literally process information in a different way than you, rather than just writing them off as idiots or weird or whatever. And as a system for growth, self-growth, and perhaps identifying red flags and areas of improvement. But what it's been used as is a system, rather than of accepting, of discrimination, and also as a way for people to build their identities around it. And that is probably the most frustrating thing that I see, is that people are not willing to even entertain the possibility that they might be mistyped, because if you do that, you call into question their identity and their self-worth, their value. But neither of those two things should be tied to your MBTI type. But I think that there's a fundamental issue, is that people get into MBTI because they have issues with those two things, their identity or their self-worth. When I talk to people who are into MBTI, when I really get down to it, I have not yet met a person who in their childhood did not feel rejected and for who they are fundamentally, and abandoned. They felt rejected and abandoned, and they didn't know why. And they figured it must be something wrong with me. There's core wounds there inside of I am bad. It's me. I'm the reason that all this is happening to me. That people don't understand me, or try to understand me, or, just reject me. And so, I hate that feature. Turn that off. They find MBTI, and it's incredibly relieving to them to hear that, oh, it's that you have this super special rare type. And they then, I think, without understanding and without realizing it, they attach that as the reason that I've always been rejected or abandoned by others. It's because I have this special MBTI type that they just don't understand. It's kind of, I don't know. I've literally never watched or read Harry Potter. Yeah, get mad at me, whatever. Just not about that. But I think, isn't that kind of thing? I know enough about it. You can't escape it. He lives under the stairs or something, and is rejected, but then finds out that he's a wizard. So I'm sorry for being so flippant about Harry Potter. I'm sorry. I'm probably pissing off so many people right now. I've never liked fantasy or any of that. I just can't get into it. Sorry. But anyway, the point is that they attach their sense of self-worth then to that, because like, oh, okay, this was the thing that everybody was seeing deep within me that they couldn't accept. But turns out I'm better than them, because they're all these like normie types, which I'm just going to call them automatically because I'm this special type and they're different from me, so they must be this type over here that's the opposite, although not necessarily. Okay. And then if you try to correct this person on their MBTI type and tell them that like, no, you're actually one of these types that you thought you hated because you saw them as so different from you, because they must be different from you because they hurt you and they rejected you and abandoned you. And honestly, I think for those people it's extremely traumatic to realize that maybe in this way, maybe they're not special, maybe they're just like everybody else. And because then the message that they're getting is that, oh, there's just something wrong with me, I'm bad, my suspicions were right, I'm not special. It's not that people can't understand me because I see the world in this incredible way that they can't grasp. It's that there's something wrong with me and I'm bad. And it's like, no, there's not. It doesn't matter what your MBTI type is. If you've been treated like that, that's a reflection of that person's relationship with themselves and nothing to do with you and their core wounds that they're carrying around. And you know what? When you do this, you're doing the same thing. You're carrying around these core wounds of being rejected or abandoned, unseen, unappreciated, and then you're projecting these onto other people and in turn rejecting them because of their MBTI type. And you're doing that because you're anticipating a rejection by them of you. So you're like trying to get ahead of the game and do that to them. And I don't know. The point of this video is just to call out like what is underneath this, what you're actually doing. You know, what's behind these feelings and these reasons that you can't accept that maybe you're not an INFJ, maybe you're an ISTP. And that's all right. Like, you know, once you don't attach your feelings of self-worth and your identity to your MBTI type, you can use it, excuse me, the way that it was meant to be used, as a system of self-understanding and of understanding others and of growing within yourself. You're not going to grow if you're walking around thinking that you're a different MBTI type. And in fact, you could end up hurting yourself if you're making decisions based on this false supposition. So, my recommendation would be to like look behind of like why would it be so threatening to me for somebody to say that I'm a different type. You know, and I've been in your shoes exactly. And I went through the whole thing of like thinking I was an ENTP, finding out I was an ESTP. Thankfully, it was somebody that I really respected that told me that. And I was able to like go back and spend a few weeks like thinking about it and then ultimately arrive at, yeah, this is right. And that's fine. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just like, oh, this is correct. I need to move forward here. And now, once in a while, somebody will come in and be like, yeah, I think maybe you could be an ENFJ. And I'm very willing to hear them out. I always think it's interesting to hear other people's perspectives and what they're seeing in me. But ultimately, it doesn't matter Because if somebody tried to come and tell me, oh, you're a purple elephant, it feels the same to me as someone telling me you're an ENFJ, you know? It's like, oh, well, I know that's not true, so it doesn't make me feel anything. But tell me, like, I have curiosity, why do you say that? And that's opened it up a lot more. So especially if you're using the TypeMatch app and you're trying to date people according to personality type, it's very important that you like look within and confirm your own personality type. Because you're trying to, you know, use it to guide your compatibility and a major, perhaps, life decision through your understanding of who you are. So if your understanding of who you are is somewhat false, you know, it could lead you down the wrong path. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day. I don't know how to end my videos.